up on the grid as they wait for the lights to go out. The revs are building. Let's go racing.
Everybody's doing a brand new dance now. Everybody's doing a brand new dance now. Everybody's doing a brand new dance
G'day everyone, welcome back to Wheel to Wheel Racing. We're here for round 10 of our 12-round championship, and tonight making their return to the commentary box is Squidly.
Back in the box, ladies and gentlemen. Buckle up, 3 races. We've got top split today, or this evening, and on visuals, the one, the only Herbal Green Tea. Welcome, Herbs.
Yeah, if it's anything like Split 2, it should be very exciting for the spectator, but I think we'll see a lot less hectic in the mid-pack, but we do know these guys can start kicking off if some stuff goes down, so never know what to expect with the top split boys.
Absolutely, plenty of exciting racing to come this evening at Circuit de Sainte-Croix in France. This one's an original GT circuit. Dragon, you have any stats on the circuit there?
Yeah, so 14 corners, 7.0 kilometres, so quite a long track, about just over a 2-minute lap, somewhere between 2 minutes, 2 minutes 10. Just under 2:10 is what most of the lap times I reckon will be for tonight, except for in quali, which should be kicking off right about now. But I got to ask you, Squid, mate, who's your pick for tonight? We've got the big championship battle going on between Apex and Chris. We've got Rio making an appearance. We've got always dangerous Adam. I mean,
it's tough. We know that tracks like this cater to mid-engine cars, so I've got to put my pick on to fix it Chris this evening in that NSX, but this is also a power circuit, so those Corvettes, they're going to be hard to catch. The MR cars will be really good in the twisties and in the coming down that hill where we've got that nice off camber S. But there's a big long straight at the back, so you can't rule out Apex in that Corvette. I got to give it to Chris though myself. What do you reckon?
Well, after trying to follow around a couple of the guys in the Jag tonight, I reckon we could see a Jag towards the top end of the field, but it's also hard to go past Apex in that Corvette. That thing is a rocket ship, especially with a bit of slipstream, so I'd have to go with Apex, I think.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen great things out of those Jags, especially from the Rusties Racing boys. We can see Ando there in second and Tombo there in third out on track at the moment, and we expect them to work together. So possibly down in the 205s, 206s for the quali lap, one lap wonders.
Yeah, and speaking of, we will go for a quick run through the field, starting with DJ Stefko in the Weet-Bix Waifu machine, that big angry Viper. One of my favourite sounding cars in the game, part of the Serial Killers team.
Big shout out to Mrs. Stefko, Mrs. Stefko and Grandma Stefko. Big shout out. Welcome this evening.
Yeah, Mrs. Stefko, the first one in chat tonight as well. So very ready for this race. And behind Stefko, we have Ando.
Yeah, Ando in that Rusties Racing Chick Hicks machine. Ando with currently sitting 5th in the championship, not too far behind Pure Axle in 4th. So Pure Axle not here this evening, I don't believe, but hoping for big things from Ando. And then Tombo currently 3rd on track.
Yeah, the Lightning McQueen machine, another Rusties member. There's a bit of an infestation in top split of these Rusties boys. There's 4 of them in here. Tombo's been doing promising things, says he's very worried about ending up 10th in top split for a 3rd season in a row, but currently sitting in 11th. So He's got some work to do, and behind Tombo is Fixer Chris in that Honda. Your pick for the night.
That's it. Fixer Chris driving for Scuderia Quadrifoglio. A bit of a run with Tombo there. He's quite close here. Looks like he's going to try and make a run going down the hill, but I think this is likely to affect both the quality times for both he and Tombo. So probably not a flyer for Fixer or Tombo this lap. Back behind Fixer Chris, we've got KZ.
Yeah, KZ stepping up to become a team leader this season in that Scuderia team, in the Jag there. That team currently sitting second in the team's championship, so he's doing quite well for the first season as a team owner is KZ. And currently sitting in 7th in the top split rankings as well, so decent season out of KZ so far, but I'm sure they'll be looking for some better results to jump up the order a little further.
Back behind KZ, we've got Ace Rio. Currently sitting second in D League with 4,269 points. Compared to Division 1, that places him roughly around 10th in the championship. And
12th overall. There you go.
12th, there you go. So a bit of a newer driver there, new this season for us, but well and truly earned his place in Split 1 this evening.
Absolutely bullied a couple of Split 2 rounds, the last 2 rounds, but now is in the well-earned top split place here. Behind them, we might have to speed through these guys a little quicker. The 3rd member of Rusty's Cloakade and the 4th member Scooter 82.
And then the old faithful back in 9th, Captain Lowside rocking that Aston Martin, and Adam V10 in the fantastic, if I may say so, Peugeot.
Yep, behind them we'll run through these 3, the Damn Racing drivers. We've got Apex in the Corvette, followed by Dale in the Ferrari and Zoo in the Corvette. So those guys are working together to set a good lap time. We'll see how they go as they cross the line here.
Definitely working together there, but we've just seen Adam with a 205, lightning quick.
Ando currently sitting pole with a 205.738. Oh, a little bit of contact made with Stefko there. That could cost either of these drivers a chance at improving. And Stefko is the one that needs it, so sitting in 10th at the moment, but man, some cracker times coming through, and I doubt you could name a more iconic duo than Adam and Captain slipstreaming each other around the tracks.
No, 100%. Those boys, Adam definitely looking to improve, and fingers crossed, my team owner, but that's lightning quick. 205 around this track is just crazy. So, caliber of these drivers on show tonight.
Yeah, and we've got 3 drivers in the 205s currently, that it being Ando, Adam, and Fixer Chris. So those guys have done a great job on their first flyer. Fixer Chris in the slipstream of Ando coming down the back straight at the moment as well, so could gain a fair bit with the slipstream from that Jag and being pulled by the Viper.
Apex Humper looking to improve, but unfortunately he's lost the slip of the cars in front as he enters the back straight. So he's currently 5/10ths down off the lead, but he's 1/10 purple. So we might see, an improvement here from Apex Humper.
Yeah, we definitely could. I wouldn't put it past him, but at the moment I'm going to keep my eye on Fixer Chris coming through these final twisty sections into the downhill approach to the final corner. See if he can improve. It looks like they've lost a little bit of time to Ando and Stefko, who are running nose to tail through the final corner here as we come across the line.
He'll have slipstream as he goes towards that start-finish line now. There it is, fastest.
Chris goes purple by 0.008 of a second over Tombo, who got the toe and jumps the teammate Ando. No improvement out of Adam.
And then it's Apex. 4200ths.
These boys are not playing around. That is a lot of guys in those 205s really cracking through the elite of wheel to wheel here at the moment. So we've got Apex and Chris on the front row, followed by a Rusty's second row being Tombo and Ando there. And we have our entire field separated by, I guess we've got someone who's messed up their qualifying, but 1.2 seconds between our top 12 drivers. And I think we'll start with one of the Rusty's boys on the second row here as the lights come on.
I'd go to Tombo, I'd say.
And we're green. I haven't seen how well that Nissan can, that Honda, apologies, can launch off the line. But Chris has done a good enough job to not lose spots as everyone starts to squabble for position as we approach turn 1.
Puts
Quite
Tombo
a
up the
tricky turn
inside.
1. Yep, but quite a tricky turn 1 coming from a standing start. Everyone comes into it at a higher speed rather than a heavy braking zone where people can sort themselves out. So Chris might lose out to Ando around the outside. I know I made that move happen a couple of times, but it's not happening. Slots in. And everyone looks to be getting towards single file. Ace
someone's
Rio at
round
the
to
back of the field. Might have to get a replay of that one. Rio already lost out massively. It's an unfortunate start to your Div 1 career again. Don't know if we have a replay of that one or not there, Herbs. Yep. That's really unfortunate there for Rio. But we'll jump back up towards the front of the field where a lot of action's going to be happening early.
We've just seen KZ. He's braked a little bit late off the back of the bridge. Tried to take the inside route up inside Scooter, and unfortunately, he's clipped the wall, lost a bunch of speed. So he's down in 12th and will be joining Ace Rio as the rest of the pack disappears in front of them. For now, though, Apex Humper keeps his lead and is getting a bit of a bump from Tombo to keep to try and separate those two from the pack.
Oh, Chris looking up the inside of Ando just behind those two as well. Yep.
Tombo now with a 1.1 second gap from Fixer Chris. Very keen to try and keep out of that slipstream, but Chris he's back under a second now. He's really keen to catch that up and not lose these two in front.
Yep, hopefully I'm coming through a little better here. But yeah, these three really starting to break away. Ando's dropped back a little. Could come under threat from the likes of Dale and the captain as we approach turn 1 if he loses that slipstream to the front three at the moment.
Bit of a gap now developed between those front three and Ando, but Dale and Lowside, as he said, very keen to close that gap up again and try and make a move on Ando.
Yeah, about 4 tenths between Ando and the very hungry mid-pack. You see that tiny little pug in the background poking out as well. Adam holding on to the back of Zoo's Corvette for dear life at the moment. And looks like a couple of guys are starting to fall off quite quickly, that being Scooter and Cloakade. Oh, they're 3 wide on the bridge. Zoo barely avoiding the fence, and Adam tucking in behind Dale, not knowing where to go. They're staying 3 wide here as we approach the braking zone at the end of the bridge. Oh, that pug just beautifully under brakes, gets by both of them. Just
Pulls
ahead
out
of
of
them,
that corner
I think
beautifully as well. Yep.
I see
Oh, that's
Ando
right.
has made a mistake, and the captain has managed to sneak on by quite wide through Bell End Bend, as it's been named by DJ Stefko, and cost a bit of time. Ando's going to have another bite at the pass here.
Those Jags on that back straight are very impressive with their speed. They're very difficult to catch.
Yeah, as someone who wasn't in a power car, anytime I had a Jag or a Corvette behind me coming onto that straight, it was nervous moments because I knew I'd be losing multiple positions.
Adam now tucked into the slipstream of Captain Lowside, who'll be keen to join that party.
Again.
Yeah.
Shuffling back across the left-hand side as we approach the last corner. Oh, the captain's tried to get back under Ando. A little bit of contact made, and Adam's looking to... Oh, he's got his nose in front of Lowside. They're going to go 3 wide again by the looks of it. Adam just doesn't have the power to make much happen, but can do it under brakes around the outside of the captain and tucks right back in between the two of them.
That's it. Lowside, a smart play there, getting himself back in front of Dale. He'll attack it on a different corner, but he's braked early. He knew he'd get a poor run out of there.
Yeah, the captain looks to be having a bit of a rough time getting out of that left-hander up the hill there. I know the Aston can start to kick and put up a bit of a fuss if you're on the power too early, so maybe just being extra cautious. Gets a very nice line onto the bridge though. Everyone looks to be avoiding. A couple of guys getting very close in the background there, avoiding that wall that comes up very quickly. Quick check-in with these boys at the front. Apex leading Tombo from Chris, and they are working together very well to just bridge that gap to the rest of the mid-pack here.
Yeah, that gap now out to 3.5 seconds. No, it's... Oh, we're lap 3 of 5. We might see Chris trying to put a little bit of a move on, but he knows that, as we said, he doesn't have that power car, and if he makes a pass on the back straight, he's just going to get passed straight away again by either of the two cars in front of him now.
Speaking of making a pass on the back straight, that battle for 4th, Adam being pushed past Ando by Captain Lowside, and they're both going to get past him into the braking zone there. The Captain a little loose on corner exit, so Ando can pull alongside again.
Yeah, Ando not wanting to give it up easily. Very tidy through this sequence though.
So now that little pug leading the mid-pack, and that breakaway of 3 is now 4 seconds clear. Tombo made a mistake in the last corner, went semi-defensive against Chris, and Chris has pulled alongside on the start-finish straight, but Tombo's got the slipstream and is in a jag, so nothing Chris is going to be able to do about that at the moment. Tombo looks to be struggling a little bit though.
Yeah, Tombo's tyres looking a little bit more worn, but he's hanging in there. He's still got that slipstream of Apex Humper. So if he can keep Fixer Chris at bay for another, about on 2 laps, he'll be in a good position.
It's really just got to hold on to the back of that Corvette to be able to defend against the Honda. With the straight line speed of the Jag, it shouldn't be much of a problem if he does have that slipstream, but once that's gone, it becomes a lot more of a task, as the Honda is amazing under brakes as well.
Ando having made a little bit of a mistake with a 7/10 gap to Captain Lowside, under attack from Dale from behind, but I think likewise Dale is also trying to get up ahead and close that gap, so pushing Ando along a little bit.
Yeah, just behind them, Zoo and Scooter just went side by side, and a little bit of contact made between the two. Zoo redressing as Scooter went into the wall, so unfortunate for those two there. But the field really starting to spread now, as the Captain goes past Adam for 4th place, and Adam tucks back in, but could come under fire from Ando again, who's closing that gap. We do know Ando had a bit of a extended stay in China this week due to being a flying bus driver. Got stuck in China for a little longer than originally planned, so don't
he's
think
keen
he's
to
got
take
as
out
much
some of that
practice as
stress.
he would like.
Yeah, he's keen to get rid of some of that stress on the track, I'm sure.
Absolutely, and what better way to do it than battling for 4th and 5th place in Top Split.
That's it now. Dale having...
I say that, he's clipped the grass under brakes. Oh, he's had a rough time getting it going. He's lost out to Dale. He's got a bit of a safety gap there to Stefko, though, so might take a bit of attention away from Ando there before I chuck the curse on him again. It's been pretty prominent, the commentator's curse throughout the lobbies the last couple of weeks.
Excellent. Let's talk about Apex then.
Or we could talk about Chris going up the inside of Tombo for 2nd. And,
beautifully done. Although Tombo, he's re-attacking.
It's tough to do around the outside, but if you can stick it around there, you can hold on to the inside of the left-hander here. But yeah, he gives it up. He can't hold it against the Honda. Much better through the corners, and he's just going to have to tuck back in.
And Apex just loving this, as he now having broken the slip to fix a Chris in the power car. It's
sorry,
what have I missed?
cut you off there. Ando has just found the wall coming onto the bridge as I was having a quick look through people, so he's lost that spot to Stefko as well. So really rough race one for Ando here. But it's not all bad for Rusties, with Tombo being up in 3rd, but the rest of the team being down in 8th, 9th and 10th currently.
Yeah, all 3 of them bunched together. Cloakade looking quite racy on Scooter 82 there. But we're just seeing Dale actually coming up alongside Captain Lowside. He's on the outside of the track. We'll see if there's anything that can be done here into the tight right-hander.
Ferrari also quite good under brakes, but it's going to be tough to get past the captain. He does look for the cutback, but that gives him the outside for the next two corners. Adam would be
Adam's
smart
very
to cut to
keen.
the inside here, and he does. Oh, he's not got enough to hold it though. So they file in yet again. Doesn't look like much is going to change from these guys, so we might quickly... Oh, move could happen into the last corner here. Lowside's having to go defensive against Dale, but Apex is going to take our race win, followed by Chris and Tombo with a podium, very well earned there. The captain taking 4th, followed by Dale and Adam very close behind. Stefko's going to claim 7th, Ando 8th, Scooter 9th, Cloquet 10th, Zoo in 11th, Rio in 12th, and KZ in 13th, unfortunately for them.
Definitely not as spicy as the Split 2 mid-pack action we saw, but definitely some fantastic racing on show. Nice and close, nice and clean, and a couple of little issues here and there, but those top few drivers, we absolutely guns blazing the whole 5 laps there.
Yeah, that was great racing from all those guys. We did see the mid-pack kind of fall apart a little bit towards the end there. As the tyre wear started to kick in, and it sounds silly to say that the tyre wear was kicking in after 5 laps, but it is a very stressing track for your tyres and wears them quite quickly, I found. So
Definitely, and they're leaving nothing on the sidelines either. They'll be pushing hard through every corner and letting them slide. They know they've only got to make them last for 5 laps, so pushing them hard. We'll see them looking after them a little bit better in the next two. The next race is a 10-lap race, so double the distance that we've just done. We'll see them looking after their fuel, looking after their tyres a little bit more. No one's going to want to be pinning, but that first race, just a big sprint.
yeah, and again, the tricky thing in our reverse grid races, or in our sprint race format, is that race 2 and 3 are reverse grid. So if Apex or Chris want to finish towards the top end of the field, they've got to pass everyone else after starting on the back row. So
Yeah, they've got their work cut out for them, but stranger things have happened. We saw Showman do it in Division 2, or in Split 2. So anything's possible.
yeah, hoping to see Showman return to Top Split so I can stop dealing with that, honestly. But we'll have to see how the results come out. But before we get into race 2, we will let you hear some words from our beautiful sponsors.
Do you own a business needing new equipment? Or perhaps you're wanting a good set of wheels for that shiny new bike license? Maybe you're after that well-earned boat for retirement. Or you desperately need a new car or caravan for those family getaways? Get in touch with Jade Finance today.
Alrighty, so big thank you to our sponsor there, Jade Finance Australia. Very, very big thank you to those guys for jumping on board with us for season 9 of Wheel to Wheel, and hopefully we'll see them stay on board with us for season 10 and for future seasons past that as well.
Absolutely. Sponsorship being a newer part of Wheel to Wheel, sort of a newer concept, but the sponsorships that we're getting allowing us to bring better content, better quality content, and a better racing experience for all of our members as well. So thanks very much to Jade Finance and indeed all of our sponsors.
Just give these guys the heads up that we'll be kicking off shortly for race 2, and race 2, as you said, double the race length, some tyre savings, some fuel savings is going to be needed. I feel like it's going to be very tough for the likes of Tombo on that controller here in the longer race, and also starting from the very back of the field could be very tough to replicate another good result in.
Yeah, that's right. Just looking at who's going to be on pole for this one. We've got KZ will be on pole with Ace Rio on the front row with him, and then in the second row, Zuzu and Cloquet. Cloquet showing excellent form in practice, but he'll be looking, with Ando and Scooter behind him, another row back. They won't be looking to muck around. We're very keen to try and get ahead.
Yeah, most definitely. So we will get race 2 going and see how this all shakes up. I'm excited to see who's better at saving the fuel. We know the Corvettes are very good when it comes to short shifting and your fuel efficiency. So we'll see if the guys in the Jag can match that and hold a decent enough pace.
Yeah, those Corvettes, good at saving fuel, a lot of power down low, so let's see what can be done. Race 2.
It's a very quiet grid, opposite to what we had for race 1. No one wanting to burn any unnecessary fuel this time. Very long hold on the lights as well, but there we go. 3, 4, 5 lights are on.
5
The
lights.
revs come up.
And they're out.
And we're green. And we see a lot of cars getting off the line very nicely. A couple of the MR cars having to smoke the tyres back there to get going. But Rio looking to hold it around the outside of KZ into turn 1 and does so. Doing Cloquet side by side, as is Scooter and Ando just behind them as well, with Stefco very close behind, so Ando not able to slot back in with them. Everyone's starting to find their place now, still 2x2 in the background there with Stefco and Dale. And everyone slots into single file before we run down the hill. So I'm very
nice and
excited to
clean
see
for the
how
first
Ace Rio
sequence.
does here.
That's right, he's got a clear track in front of him and an unfortunate start to race 1, but we know he's got the pace, we know he's got the points. So let's see what can be done here by Ace Rio.
I think in the background I just saw Dale collect the wall as well, so Dale will be falling all the way back to 13th place and out of slipstream range, so can be quite tricky when coming through onto the bridge with the whole pack in front of you. It's very hard to spot your turn-in marker, your break-in marker. You can get a little lost sometimes, especially depending on your camera view. If you're in the bumper cam, it's even harder to see.
Zoo and Cloquet having a little bit of a battle here. Cloquet having fallen back again now, but Zoo definitely going to be under attack for this next corner.
Yeah, and that could be by Scooter as well as we go 3
On
wide.
both
And I'm having
sides.
some flashbacks here as I ended up on the outside of 2 different 3 wide occasions in my races, but these guys navigate it quite nicely, and Scooter gets a nice 2-for-1 deal. Loves a good deal, does Scooter.
Yeah, Cloquet backing out a little bit there. Smart racing. He's tucked it back in behind Zoo, and he'll just wait for his next opportunity.
Yeah, those front 2 have already started to break away, though. 1.5 seconds the gap back to him, so that big overtake by Scooters cost them a fair bit of time as well.
Chris up the inside of low side. A little bit of contact with the wall there by low side. I'm not sure if he was pushed there or not, but unfortunately he's now lost out to both Fixer Chris and Apex Humper. Again, trying to battle their way through the pack.
Apex also going up the inside of Tombo there to make that move stick and to keep with Fixer Chris there. That battle for our top 2 in the championship still very much alive. Back towards the front of the field. Still about 1.5 seconds the gap back to 3rd and the mid-pack. Everyone looks to be quite settled. It's very risky doing overtaking opportunities down the hill here. It's very much a one-line type of section, so getting offline is quite tricky to pull the car up sometimes and set you offline for the next corner.
Yeah, those corners going down the hill, all off camber, high speed, trail braking. It's
Back in
it's
9th
tough.
place here, apologies, but Apex has got an amazing run onto the bridge and just absolutely slipped past Chris, who was very close to sending it into that wall that's claimed many before him.
Tombo looking hungry too, but Fixer Chris won't be giving that up easily.
Unfortunately though for Apex, no slipstream to the pack ahead. Just got to make up about 1/4 of a second to be back in that, and that's going to be tough to do, even though the car directly ahead is the little bug.
The gap from 2nd to 3rd now up to 1.8 as we see KZ bumping Ace Rio along. Bit of a bump draft. just to try and increase that gap, make hay while the sun shines.
Yeah, and the thing I'm worried for this mid-pack is we've seen Scooter have some amazing pace early on in the race, but as the tyre wear kicks in, they fall off quite quickly. And if Scooter's leading this mid-pack at that time, that gap to the top two is just going to grow, and could be a two-car battle for the win.
Yeah, that's right. We know Scooter's on controller, and unfortunately that does lend itself to a bit of additional tyre wear over those on wheels.
Yeah, it does. It did enough for me to switch with no practice for Spa last week, so...
Did enough for me to do a practice race for 2 laps earlier this evening. In the Yeedle, I might add.
Loves to eat your beetle.
Always. You're right though, starting to bunch up a little.
Right on the track limits, I saw Zoo almost get a little squirrely coming out of turn 1, dipping a tyre into the dirt. It's a dangerous game to be playing. Oh, he's put 2 onto the dirt on the exit at the left-hander there as well, so... Really trying to use all of the track limits with a little bit of a lift here behind Scooter, maybe not being able to see the turn-in point, just saving that fuel, trying to be nice and conservative, not punt Scooter into the bridge as well. It's always a good call.
Yeah, coming down the hill, it can be difficult to see your braking markers and in fact, just the inner wall in general. It can be difficult to judge. But Zoo looking very hungry and keen to make a move by the look of it on the back straight on Scooter.
Oh, Scooter's getting real close, just dragging the wing of the Jag along the fence there. Sending some sparks flying. Zoo looks to be a little wide through Bell End Bend here. And has lost about half a second on Scooter. And back in the field, Adam trying to pull alongside Ando in the pug, and nothing coming of it there. Pulled alongside for long enough for Ando to give him a little wave and a wink and then pull back up ahead.
Zoo happy to stay behind Scooter there, as we see, who's that, Stefko? Looks like he went up the inside or went for a look on Cloquet.
Yeah, definitely had a big look up the inside of Cloquet. Cloquet did really well to hold the momentum around the outside line of that corner and to keep that position off of Stefko.
Very interesting sequence of corners there. That last, just in the last sector there, the cars get absolutely thrown around. A lot of downforce and a lot of sparks as they come around that left-hander.
Yeah, and I think Zoo's very happy to be just sitting behind Scooter here. Scooter clipped the wall on the exit of the final corner, and Zoo decided to give him a bump and then went for a big lift off the throttle as well. So playing the long game is Zoo, not trying to fight early, maybe wanting to crack on and close that gap to the top 2, but that is not happening. That's gone out to about 2.2 seconds, 2.1 seconds now as they come through the uphill left-hander here.
Zoo would also be cognizant of his fuel as well. The Corvettes, they do have a lot of power, but they're still very thirsty, so possibly keen to stick in the slipstream and save a bit of fuel as well.
Yeah, speaking of fuel, someone who's might be in a little bit of danger here, Ace Rio. He's got about, I'd say, 55% left in the tank, and we're only on lap 4, so that could be dangerous for Rio there to have to fuel or start fuel saving a lot heavier than they might be currently.
Yeah, KZ probably, well, he wouldn't know what fuel level Ace Rio is running, but he'll find out shortly. But it does place KZ in quite a good position.
Yeah, most definitely. Using Rio, who's going all out to save that fuel and to bridge the gap, or to build a gap, apologies, to the mid-pack behind. And we're only on lap 4, so it's going to be very tough for Rio to save enough fuel to make it long here.
Now, interestingly, Dale, low side Tombo, Apex Humper and Fixer Chris have gotten past Adam by the look of it, so I didn't see exactly what happened, but Adam, Apex running wide left of track, grabs a bit of grass and might lose a position here to Tombo.
Tombo just sneaking on by, he kept in touch enough to be able to make
That's
an
low side as well.
work. Yeah, sneaks up the inside, getting very off the line there with the dirty tyres. Apex losing touch to Chris, who looks to be up the inside of Ando just up ahead as well, so Chris is really starting to make their way through the field as the tyres start to wear on a little bit, and they set the fastest lap of the race with a 2:07.0, which is
Low side up.
it's concerning.
Oh wow, yeah. I don't think I qualified that fast, to be honest.
I got like a 7.9 quali, so I was a long way back of Chris here. So
Oh, Apex with a big dive up the inside of Tombo. Keen. Oh, Tombo's wide.
Don't know if Tombo will be too happy about that one.
No, Apex not hanging around.
Apex.
But yeah, low side having passed Tombo on turn 1. Apex very keen to get those lost positions back and catch up to Fixer Chris.
And just catching back up to that mid-pack is crucial right now, especially for a lot of fuel saving. And as I say that, the front of the mid-pack lead has changed as Zoo goes up the inside of Scooter. So finally ready to take the lead is Zoo. I would say he's running a lot better on fuel compared to Scooter, so this is probably going to help Scooter a fair bit, I would say, being close to 50% with about half a lap to go.
Absolutely. He's Zoo's likely realised that he's being held up a little bit by Scooter with the additional tyre wear, and you know, having worked with Scooter before, Scooter's likely to give him a bit of a bump as well, and it could be beneficial for the both. So, bit of a give, bit of a take. Clocade.
Oh, and Chris.
Ambitious Chris
got
as
up
well.
the inside too, so Scooter's like, alright, I'll give a little half lift behind Zoo in the slipstream to save a bit of fuel, and there goes Clocade, there goes Chris, and now he's got Stefko right under that rear wing as well.
Still too wide with Scooter, and Chris doesn't want to let it go, and he's just let Chris slip in front of him now on the downhill left-hander.
Oh, and Stefko's made a big mistake on that left-hander as Ando's managed to slip by him as well. So some moves starting to be made. Chris up the inside of Clocade ahead too, and Rio realising that it's time to pit. So don't know how long the pit stop is here for race 2 with only a bit of fuel, but I can tell you that it's not optimal, unfortunately, there for Rio. Change of the tyres too.
KZ then with a happy 3.2 second lead. He won't be benefiting from the slipstream and the bump draft, but it's a solid gap. Let's see what Zoo can do to reel him in.
Fuel as well. They were just under halfway as they crossed the line, so gonna have to start saving a bit more fuel than they were now that they don't have that slipstream assistance too. So let's check in the gap between Apex and Stefko at the moment down to a second, so right on the cusp of getting that slipstream. Apex managed to get past the captain as well.
Those 3 Rusties Racing boys in, what's that, 4th, 5th and 6th. Looking to work together again.
Yeah.
Stefko angrily
often
looking
see
under
those
the
guys
rear
very
wing
close
of
together.
Ando as well. Yeah, very close.
Now, I don't know how Tombo did it. Like I said last week, I want his spending records checked to be able to have 4 drivers in top split. He's played a master stroke. He saw Scooter as a bit of a bargain as well and picked him up. So those damn Rusty's boys have done it again. Unfortunately for everyone else, we're gonna have to endure the banter for another season by the looks of it.
Look, the quotes are better this season. Oh, as we see Tombo going past Dale on the sharp right hander, but he grabs a bit of grass and Dale's going to get that position back.
Yeah, Tombo not fighting that one too hard as Dale tried to get back past him.
He knows what he did.
Not much they can do at that point. But absolutely crucial to be able to put your head down and catch up to this mid-pack again, as Apex and Lowside have done. Apex right on the rear bumper of Stefko, who was the last of that mid-pack. And at the front, Fixer Chris, now in second, has almost broken the slip back to Zoo, and that could be absolutely crucial.
The gap's still at 3.2 seconds to KZ, but Chris with a lot more fuel and a lot more tyre. He's going to reel him in pretty quick.
Exit there. My goodness, he's using all the track available and a bit more at the moment. Now it's going to be so hard for anyone in that mid pack to make a pass now as well. for the likes of Apex and Stefko here. Ooh, as
Oh.
Stefko goes wide right as I say that, Apex can't get enough power down to make the move, but anytime you get onto a straight, Stefko's going to have the slip of those 3 Rusties Jags, and it's going to be tough to be able to do anything about it for Apex here.
Definitely, and those Rusties cars aren't going to be making it easy to pass either. And I'll be protecting the 2 in front as much as he can.
Yeah, and something interesting to take note of here, KZ's pulled out about half a second on Chris for the first half of this lap.
Yeah, Chris got a little bit wide, as you said, on the exit, caught a bit of grass, and then nearly ran into that wall just before the bridge. Very close there, so a little bit of time lost.
And due to that slipstream and the power of the Corvette, Zeus staying in touch with the Honda of Fixer Chris. And that mid-pack is starting to look a little busy towards the back. We've got Apex and Captain going side by side, and Dale and Tombo only 1.3 seconds off it. So coming towards the end of the race, some guys are going to want to start making moves, and I think we could see a lot of exciting action in the last couple laps.
100%. Low side also kicking along behind Apex Humper. He knows that Apex is keen to make the move, so he's hoping that he can slip past Stefko if and when it happens. But they're all looking single file, and not much can be done at this stage.
Yeah, and a little wide of the Apex though. That could cost Stefko a bit of speed. Stefko dips a tyre in the grass as well and has half a look up the inside of Ando, which gives Apex the opportunity to look up the inside of him. Oh, a little bit of contact made with Ando. And low side's having half a look around the outside, trying to send it 3 wide. And that is a dangerous place to be, 3 wide with that wall coming up very quickly. Stefko leaning on Apex a little bit too, but Apex is... Oh, he's made it work around the outside there beautifully.
Beautiful driving to be able to go 3 wide and make those decisions in the middle of the track and not really lose too much speed.
Had me holding my breath there. I was scared. We're about to see a couple of guys just absolutely get taken out.
Stefko up the outside.
That's
Yep.
Oh, and he's got contact with the low side, and he's ended up in the wall. He's going to lose out to Dale here as well, maybe. Oh, Dale went a little deep into the sweeping right-hander there, but yeah, it's very unfortunate there for Stefko to try that around the outside, off camber as well. It's a very tricky corner to navigate, and I had a similar thing happen to me, so
Yeah, with
that pain.
a little bit more track on his right-hand side, he could have got it done, but unfortunately that wall is unforgiving.
And something to take note of, that gap between KZ and Chris down to 2.7 seconds now, so it is falling quite quickly.
Yeah, that's a whole second in a lap.
I don't know how hard KZ is going to fight Chris for this. Is there going to be any team orders? Chris needs all the points he can get here. But KZ
absolutely.
also wanting to have a good result, so...
Yeah, I'd forgotten these two were of the same team, actually, so that's a very good point. KZ may very well just let Fixer Chris past and happily tack onto the slipstream.
The games have begun as well. Ando's lost touch with Zoo, Clocade and Scooter, and now without the slipstream, the swerving down the straight has started to break the toe to Apex, who is very close behind.
Ooh.
The last 2 laps, things are starting to get spicy. Apex looking around the outside. I gave this move a go a couple of times, and it was very pleasing to make it work. Not happening there though.
Yeah, I wasn't able to pull that one off, so you can keep that feather in your cap.
It's Ando very close to being back in the slip with a couple of good corners, can be right there, and this is the time to do it, where slipstream's not going to impact that gap as you come down the hill. Does not get a good enough exit out of the right-hander onto the bridge though, unfortunately, so that gap is just going to start stringing back out.
Ando going a little bit defensive with Apex right up behind. But no move made by Apex on that one. He'll be looking for this long straight up here.
Yeah, something to take note of. I think KZ's going to have to save a bit more fuel. They're coming close to the 10% marker about now. while everyone else behind has probably 3 or 4 more percent in the tank. So KZ's playing a dangerous game, and with only a 1 second gap to Chris might be on for the race win here. Oh, and back in 6th place, Apex and the captain stream past Ando, and they go 3 wide through the right-hander here.
Ooh, low side still back behind. Ando manages to fend him off, but Apex is through.
Just snuck through there with the help of the captain pushing him along. And now the captain and Dale looking very hungry to get past, so Ando's really having a rough time here. Looks like almost everyone has been able to rejoin that battle pack, as well as now Adam is right on the back of it with Stefko. Tombo's just out of the slipstream. The only person not in that pack is Rio, unfortunately, who mustn't have had a chance to practice race 2 and missed the strategy.
Yeah, a bit unfortunate, but
Ooh.
still turning up
Clean hit.
without practice to perform how he is. It's pretty impressive.
Yep, and Chris slips up the
There it
inside
is.
of KZ there, so I believe everyone saw that coming, and right as he hits the 10% fuel marker, KZ is probably going to be able to use Fixer Chris as the fuel-saving hero that he needed, sitting in 6th gear and half throttle down the hill here.
Yeah, I was just thinking that it's that could actually be a bit of a saving grace for KZ.
Now, my big interest here is how many cars are going to be between Apex and Fixer Chris, and just behind Apex, actually, low side looking around the outside at the end of the bridge. We saw what happened to Stefko when this happened. Oh, it's very tough to hold it around the outside there. Oh, Ando's got on the loud pedal too much and he's gone around.
Unlucky.
Oh.
Were we on board for that, Herbs?
Oh, that's very unfortunate there for Ando.
It is.
And it looks like they're going to have Ace Rio for company in a second, but very, very unfortunate there after driving quite a good race there and having a chance at being towards the top of the mid-pack. Unfortunately, there it went for Ando.
Dale in 8th looking up to try and get some moves done on Captain Lowside, and the few corners remaining. Lowside wide on exit of that right-hander. Dale goes past. Open the door for Adam as well. Adam might have to wait.
There's some guys running very, very low on fuel here. I'm very interested to see if anyone runs out before the line. As KZ's on about 1%. Chris is fine. He is going to take our race win. KZ just behind, followed by Zoo, Scooter, and Cloacade's running on empty. Apex has run out, I think. Yes, he did run out there before the line. And it's
Low side with
chaos
the flick.
behind. So that ended up being Apex 6th, Dale 7th, Captain in 8th, Adam 9th, Stefko 10th, Tombo in 11th, Rio in 12th, and Ando coming across the line in 13th after that spin. But we'll be starting on the front row with Rio for race 3, which should be very exciting as well.
Yeah, hopefully with Rio, you know, race 3 a little bit longer. He had the pit strategy for race 2, and obviously that one's not, you know, the pit in race 2 sort of didn't work, and it's you know, we know that race 3 there's always a pit involved, so we'll be switching from mediums to softs or vice versa, and fingers crossed we can see something out of the bag for Ace Rio here.
Yeah, I would like to see a good result out of Ace Rio to show they do belong up in Top Split here. But something to look forward to, race 3. So we've had a 5-lapper, we've had a 10-lapper, and now we're going to have a 14-lap race with a mandatory pit stop. So soft and medium tyres must be used in this one. And 14 laps, so you'll see some fuel saving. I reckon you'll see probably 5 or 6 laps on the mediums, maybe 4 if some people are feeling confident in getting 10 out of the softs. But yeah, it should be very interesting. I'm very much looking forward to seeing how it goes.
Yeah, that's right. I ran a 6 laps on the mediums and 8 laps on the softs, and that seemed to work quite well for me in the Mercedes. But, with the way that the different cars wear their tyres, it's really anyone's game. We saw Suit Lad actually with a lot of success running 5 laps in Split 2 on his mediums. So there's a lot of success in different strategies here.
Yeah, I'm very interested to see if anyone decides to go for that undercut or that overcut. Have the better tyres for the end, or try and get track position. I guess it depends on your car choice as well. If you've got a bit more power underneath you, you can play for the track position and try and defend with the power of your car. Or if you're in a bit of an underpowered car, maybe you can try and hunt those faster cars down. And someone has gotten the lobby settings wrong, like a dumbass. Apologies.
Just if you could just sort that out there, Dragon, that'd be fantastic.
It's been done.
Alrighty. I believe we have a bit of a driver profile for this evening. If I'm not mistaken, we're looking at Adam V10 this evening.
Yeah, Herbs, why don't you take us through that one? There you go.
So
So a lot
Adam,
of success out of Adam.
yeah, Adam turned up in season 5, and I was driving the BMW, and here's this guy that turns up, and he starts driving the Aston Martin that season. It was around the Red Bull Ring, and we were doing lots of practice, and I was like, oh, this guy's, he's not bad. And we finished that race within, I think there was about 3/10 between us. And then since then, the gap between us has just grown and grown and grown.
I was gonna say, safe to say you've fallen off a little bit there, mate.
Yeah, a little bit. The skill that Adam has gained since being with Wheel to Wheel has been impressive to see. And if not for the Peugeot this season, which was in his words a bit of a mistake, we might see him, again vying for the lead of the championship here. But always a contender, Adam, and always a bit of a dark horse this season too.
Yeah, it's a great member of the Wheel to Wheel community as well. Always happy to give tips and information for anyone in practice lobbies, and puts in a fair bit of time behind the scenes to help make some of the visuals and organise some of the streaming stuff. So yeah, massive thank you to Adam for being a great part of the Wheel to Wheel community.
Yeah, definitely. These driver profiles, a lot of the graphics you'd see on the streams themselves are actually a lot of Adam's work too. So definitely helping prop up the league with from the visuals perspective too.
Absolutely. And on that note, we will kick off race 3.
All right. Who are we thinking? Who should we ride on board with off the line, you reckon?
Can't remember who's going to be starting there. I think Ando is going to be a good option for a race win here if they can put it together. But
Well, that's it, Ando on the front row by the looks.
as it finally lets me in, we've got Ando and Rio on the front row, followed by Tombo and Stefko. Both could be quite dangerous off that second row as well. We've seen some good things out of Stefko in these races, as well as Tombo, who came third in race 1, starting third here as well.
5 red lights. Green and racing. Rio with a bit of a jump on Ando, but Ando with Tombo behind him. Ando will have the inside run here.
We saw Rio sweep around the outside last time around. Doesn't look like it's going to happen.
Ando with a bump from Tombo to push him out in front here. Tombo not quite being able to get it done on turn 1, but he's looking good for turn 3 as he goes up the outside of Rio. Rio having none of it.
Tombo's well wide, but he's got enough power in that Jag to stream on by, and I think Stefko's licking his lips at a chance to get by here as well. Thinks better of it, gives a big old lift. And, gosh, behind them, Adam and Apex have been side by side on the downhill here before we slot into our positions and go line astern again.
Everyone through and onto the bridge nice and clean. It's Ando followed by Tombo. Tombo almost certainly going to play rear gunner for Ando as we get halfway through the first lap of 14.
Yeah, and that's a dangerous combo. 2 Rusty's boys already out the front with about a half a second, 6/10 gap back to Rio. These guys could run away very easily if they play their guns right. Having a quick look through the field, our top 5 are all on the soft tyre and everyone behind them are running on the mediums. So the only one that's kind of lost out a little bit would be Dale, who does not have that slipstream to pull along with the other soft tyre runners and could come under fire from some medium runners here.
Yeah, he'll find it tough to break the slipstream, I'd say.
Oh, Dale's wide.
It's Dale's wide.
Big
Gathers
lift
it
on
up.
the grass there as well, unfortunately. Yeah. But now he's behind a couple of guys on the mediums with some dirty tyres as well. So it's a very rough start to race 3 for Dale there.
Ooh, Rio. Yeah, not sure what happened.
There. Getting a little wild coming down to the final corner, and Stefko takes that one, gives him a flash of the hazards. So maybe a little bit of contact made, not quite sure, but these two looking to crack on. Tombo going past Ando in turn 1 as well, goes quite deep.
Ando took that quite shallow. By the looks of it, he must have kept 2 tyres on track, so there's no penalty there. These two side by side, which is interesting.
Yeah, we've seen
Ando tucks in behind.
Some chaos happen from the Rusty's boys racing each other. Back at the Nürburgring, we saw Cloakade and Tombo fighting a lot, and Tombo ended up in the sand due to that fighting at one point as well. So maybe a little bit going on amongst the ranks of the Rusty's boys. They're enjoying too much success.
Well, either way, whatever's happened here, it's brought Stefko back into the mix, and Stefko looking to tack on. I don't know whether he'll look to pass Ando or not, but definitely back within slipstream range.
Rio just trying to hang on to that as well, and behind them 1.5 seconds back to Captain, who's on that medium tyre, leading Dale, unfortunately, with the softs. So
yeah, an unfortunate off there from Dale. He did well to keep it all together, but definitely lost a place and some speed. Looking to get back in front of low side, but whether or not he'll be able to catch Rio.
Yeah, it also comes into the fact of, does Dale think the captain's on softs or on the mediums? Looks like he might think he's on the mediums. He's going to try and send it up the inside. They touch on the Apex ever so slightly, and Dale gets that move done beautifully. Behind them, Adam and Apex side by side as we approach the twisty section of Sector 3 here. Ooh, contact made as well. Adam tries to sweep across and comes into contact with the front of Apex's car. They sort themselves out without a mistake, but now Apex could come under fire from Scooter, who's right behind.
Bit of a defensive line there from Apex, but he knows that he'll have the slipstream of Adam, and he knows that the power of that Pug is just well below. So here he goes. He'll pull out here and get the move done on Adam.
Adam looking to slot in and only lose that one single position. Those 2 Rusty's guys in Scooter and Cloakade right behind, looking quite hungry and ready to move up the field as well.
Adam actually probably happy to lose that position to Apex, knowing he's now tucked in behind a power car. His speed disadvantage is going to be much less now, and it might help him to fend off the 2 Rusty's cars behind him.
And just want to quickly point out DJ Stefko taking our fastest lap of the race for lap 2 there with a 2:07.5. So bit of a cracker of a lap time there, and Rio has rejoined that pack at the front, so it's turned into a pack of 4, and then Dale trying to catch up at 1.7 seconds. It's quite hard to close the gap on.
Yeah, we can see a little bit in Rio's driving, just a few little mistakes indicating perhaps a bit less practice than some of the others, but even with that being the case, he's obviously got some fantastic raw talent to be able to kick it with these guys in the top 4 on minimal practice. It's very impressive to see.
Yeah, most definitely. Very excited to see how Rio can do in the coming rounds, especially with our final Ferrari round, and of course the season finale at Bathurst, which is going to be an absolute cracker as well.
Oh, it will be. I'm looking forward to it.
I can't wait
It's
to
my
not
jam.
pass anyone in my Porsche.
Well, you might pass someone going backwards as you screw it up down the dipper. The engine has a habit of wanting to go first down the hill in your car.
Yeah, you're not wrong. It's probably one of the safer MR cars, but still a little sketchy coming down the hill. Dale looks to be closing that gap though, now down to 1.2 seconds, so maybe that lack of practice is helping out Dale here, and if he can connect with Rio and they can work together, that might be a saving grace for both of them.
Yeah, definitely. It's definitely going to work to Dale's advantage if he can catch up. Oh, we see Ando a bit wide on the grass there. He lost a lot of speed. Rio's gone past. Stefko's gone past. I'm not sure exactly what...
Lack of practice from Ando showing through there as well.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how much time he's had on the rig, if he had any time to get it warmed up today, or if he's just gotten home and had to jump straight in. But I know he wasn't able to make it home in time to help with our Div 2 stream, so definitely a very last minute for Ando at the moment.
Yeah, unfortunate for him, but here we see Dale within 0.3 of Ando, so Ando going to be keen. He's only about a second back on Rio, and I reckon he'd be able to make that up, so this might bring Dale back into contention. A bit of a saving grace here.
Yeah, and just having a look up ahead a little bit, I can see Stefko is very much under the rear wing of Tombo. Not sure if Stefko thinks he's going to be better off leading here over Tombo or not, but very interested to see if he decides to go for a move here.
Quite a difference there between the tyres and fuel. Stefko looking quite good on both fronts compared to Tombo. And there will be a point, and it could... No, it's not going to be now. There will be a point where Stefko is going to find himself being held up by Tombo on those more worn tyres.
Yeah, and as we were pointing that out, Dale slipped on past Ando for 4th place, and that gap now to 1.3 seconds, so Dale just constantly chasing the tail of Rio.
Dale 800s up on the fastest lap as well.
So he's absolutely cracking on that slipstream from the Jag that helped a fair bit down that back straight, but taking nothing away from how well he's been taking the corners here, has Dale been. And
Well,
Rio
Dale's
up
just...
ahead looking to make a move on Stefko.
Oh, Dale 207.2. He took 0.3 out of Rio in just the last sector.
Rio had half a look into turn 1 there on Stefko and Tombo, but because of the slipstream wasn't able to make anything happen, but just shows that Rio is not looking to stick around, and maybe after having a couple of laps under the belt, a little more confident and feeling a bit more pace in that Merc.
Rest of the field, not too much happening. We see Scooter has managed to get past Adam V10. Again, in that power car, it's not too surprising, but tyre wear is going to become an issue for Scooter within the next couple of laps. Fixer Chris looking hot on the tail of Adam. Again, he'll be wanting to get past and stick with Apex as much as he can to keep that battle alive.
Yeah, and just behind them you've got about 2 seconds back, you've got Zoo, Clo, Kate and KZ, so look to be struggling a little bit to hold pace with those guys up ahead, but still doing quite well on their mediums and saving plenty of fuel. About half a tank left for all 3 of those guys. Oh, back up in the lead, just quickly flicked through. Stefko has taken the lead off of Tombo there. So finally decided it's time, gave himself another 2 minutes.
Oh, Rio having a look as well.
Yeah, he tried to pull out a little late there and made a bit of contact, so gave Tombo the speed boost instead of being able to sweep to the inside.
Which
Get him on
Tombo
the
then
brakes.
gifted to DJ Stefko as well. What's happened?
Dale in the background got loose on corner exit and he's allowed Ando up the inside, so a lot happening for these soft tyre runners at the moment.
Dale's managed to hold on to it, but Ando looking racy behind him.
The rear tyres of the MR cars really suffer, especially that rear left towards the end of race 2. I was very much suffering in the Porsche. So made a couple of oopsies myself there and cost myself a fair bit of time due to that. But I bet Miss Stefko will be happy to see Stefko out in the lead here, leading from Tombo, but Rio looking up the inside of Tombo now. Definitely not looking to stick around in that third position. Tombo sweeps around the outside to stop that move from being made. This is inviting Dale and Ando back into the party, though, just barely out of the slipstream of those two.
Rio in a very different position in this race to the last race. He's got slightly more fuel than Tombo, much better tyres, and only a little bit less fuel than Stefko. Stefko looking great on fuel, though, in that Viper.
Tyres are actually incredible, even better than Stefko's. Probably some of the best in the field of the soft runners, which is only our top 5, but still incredibly efficient on the tyres. There is Rio.
Yeah, he set himself up well if he wants to run a longer stint on the soft tyres here.
See what kind of run they can get here, and if they want to try and make that move on Tombo. I think Tombo might have a bit of a helping hand with the slipstream from that Viper, but if he gives a bump, that costs him a fair bit of momentum and could open the door for Rio. So he lifted off a fair bit there. Rio is going to close up quite quickly, but he's not going to be able to make any kind of move. Did have to stay on the brakes a little longer, came into the corner a bit hot, so lost out a little bit there as well. Just behind them, the battle for 8th at the moment, Adam, Scooter and Chris. Scooter and Chris side by side on the exit of the right-hander at the end of the straight. Scooter with a big lift just trying to let Chris through now. A bit late as they went through the entire twisty section side by side, costing each other time, but Chris ends up making that move and follows Adam through, and Apex now right on the rear bumper of the captain as all of our medium runners sweep to the inside.
Yeah, Scooter a victim of that of the tyre wear due to his controller, but yeah.
Chris is on 47% fuel. The closest person to him is 40, which is Apex and Adam. So that's about an entire second of on-track time.
That's VTEC power, yo.
Oh, and it's all popped off at the front. Tombo and Dale are side by side, so Dale's managed to get past Rio and is up the inside of Tombo now. Tombo's slotting back in behind, so not quite sure what's happened there. But Stefko's now to a 1 second buffer at the front.
Yeah, it's a bit unexpected when we were talking about Dale before with his little incident, but he's laced his boots up and he's hunting down Stefko now just outside slipstream range, but he's making the closure.
Yeah, and I don't think Tombo will be fighting Dale too hard. I feel like Tombo would be happy to bump Stefko along the straights here. Or right into the braking zone, just there. Little touch, maybe. We know Tombo likes to get a little handsy on some of the league members.
I'm not touching that. I'm not going near it.
It's probably better too.
Right. Tombo, one of our newest stewards as well, and it's actually a good thing having robust debate with guys like Tombo, as it's kicking off here. Ando back into the mix too.
So yeah, it's like what I pointed out the lap before, giving the bump to Dale cost Tombo a lot of momentum and almost let Rio through. And Tombo really starting to suffer with that tyre wear now as we come through to the end of lap 7 as the cars get very unstable coming through that sweeping left-hander there.
Now I'll be interested to see what Rio does here, whether Rio does a straight split down the middle and does 2 stints of 7, or whether he cracks on. Stefko in.
Well, Rio's decided to crack on and have a go at Tombo here as he looks up the inside. The pace of that Jag is just a little too much. Some whispers of slipstream from Dale as well, keeping him in it. Rio receives a little bit of a bump from Ando mid-corner. Rio again just chucking it to the inside, trying everything they can to make a move on Tombo here.
Yeah, misses the apex slightly. Not a great run out, but he'll hang close to Tombo here. Dale's loving this. 8/10 out in front now.
Yeah, with Stefko making that pit stop, coming out in 5th place. So just clear of all the guys that stopped the lap before off their mediums. Only by about 1.4 seconds though, as Chris and Adam are hot in pursuit with Apex not far behind.
So Stefko's managed to come out on his mediums just in front of Fixer Chris, but still behind all the soft runners and in front of the medium runners. So Stefko in a pretty good position.
Yeah, we'll see if the undercut works for him here. I don't know what the overlap is between the softs and the mediums, and if he was feeling a little bit slow on the worn softs, maybe wanting fresh mediums, or maybe just trying to split it right down the middle, not quite sure, but we'll see how that works out as the rest of the soft runners are about 30 seconds away from making their stop, I would assume.
Yeah, and something I hadn't considered actually, Stefko having gone in on lap 7 on the medium tyres, all those cars behind him have actually pitted and are now on soft, so Chris will be very, very racy on the softs and wanting to get past. Just that time that he made up by saving that fuel was very impressive.
Yeah, managed to get ahead of Adam and Apex with that saved fuel, and now right on the heels of Stefko.
Ando staying out. Obviously with just enough fuel for one more lap, Ando's going to run 9 laps on the softs.
Maybe feeling quite confident in the softer tyre. Not a fan of the mediums. Could be a mix of things. Maybe just happy to have a shorter pit stop. But we'll see where they end up as Stefko runs a little wide coming out of the final corner, and Chris has barely got the nose of that Honda up the inside, but tucks back in. Adam now having a look as they both pull out. Oh, and everyone comes out of the pits right as they look up the inside there into turn 1.
Apex won't be happy with that. He's now separated from Fixer Chris by 3 cars, the cars that have just come out all on mediums.
He's making some erratic moves to try and get by Tombo. Rio with a semi-defensive line following Dale, and Apex getting a bit choked out on the apex there of the corner, so unable to get any kind of run. Dale going very defensive against Rio here as well. I feel like Rio's definitely the wild card here. They're looking for moves in a lot of places. They're quite wide.
Oh, Apex, I feel like he read that very well. He turned a bit tighter and stayed off the throttle a bit to stay inside, but it's looking like Tombo up the inside of Dale here.
And
Apex goes for a look too.
A little bit of contact made between low side and Apex, forcing Dale into the wall. Dale's going to lose out to Scooter as well. Maybe Rio around the outside here. Looks like he's able to hold off Rio for now. That's
low side
a little
just
bit unfortunate there.
Low side bumping Apex through the whole way through the bell end, and low side keen to see himself and Apex Humper in front of Tombo running the mediums.
Yeah, and back up in 3rd and 4th, Chris and Adam side by side behind Stefko, so these two jockeying for position while trying to get the slipstream of that Viper.
Oh, Scooter with a big slide. Holds it together, but he's lost out now to all of those cars. Scooter now back. Looks like he's going to slot in behind Rio.
Not looking to give up that spot. He's trying to hold it around the outside, though. Does give him the inside for the next corner if they can keep the momentum. Does keep it. Rio looking very nice around the outside there. Oh, little contact
it's a
made.
squeeze.
Into the wall goes Rio.
Ando just exiting the pits now.
There goes our lead 3. Here comes the rest of the pack. There goes Apex and low side. Here's Tombo and Dale. He's going to be side by side with Tombo. Contact in the apex of the corner is made. And
These
Dale-
Rusty's boys leaving nothing in the locker room.
Dale is able to get up the inside of Tombo. Ooh, contact made as he tries to sweep across and take a defensive line. And just up ahead, Captain and Apex were going at it for a second there. And looking up ahead again, Adam has taken the lead. Fixer Chris slots on through, and Stefko goes back to third.
Yeah, not surprising with those medium tyres.
Oh,
there.
Chris!
Oh, it's Chris!
Oh, he's made
Stefko!
contact to Stefko, but he's lost out massively. There goes Apex on the low side. He's going to be under threat from the Jags at the very, very angry pack coming up. Oh, it's chaos. They're going to be 3 wide. Tombo and Dale trying to go on either side of Chris. Ando receives a little bit of a bump from Tombo on the outside and goes into the wall. Hits Chris. Chris hits Dale. Here comes
Rio
Scooter.
hits- oh,
swooping
Jesus.
on through.
Oh, it's a bit of chaos. So we've got Ando and Tombo down in 8th and 9th now. Probably they've lost out the most there. Chris managed to, after instigating that, he's managed to hang on to 7th. Scooter's
Also-
gone through. Dale's gone through.
And the battle for third is well and truly on as Apex
Oh, it is.
and Captain are side by side. Captain going up the inside of Stefko as well here.
Apex
Apex-
read that beautifully with that undercut.
So it is all coming together as the strategies mash together. And
It's on for
Adam
young and
is
old, as Skate
laughing
would
at
say.
the front of the field with
Yeah.
2.1 seconds the gap, and Stefko playing a rear gunner at the moment, defending for his life. Or defending for his wife, or his right to sleep in the same bed as her. As we know, he'll end up on the balcony if the results aren't there. Oh, and
Close.
back for 5th place as well. We're 3 wide yet again.
Oh, it's
Scooter,
again.
Dale, and Chris. It's non-stop action at the moment, all through the field. Chris clears both of them. Dale looking to hold that spot up the inside. A little bit of contact made. Does sweep on through.
Impressive work from Dale there, actually, on the medium tyres, fending off Scooter on the softs.
I can't believe
And
everything
now
that's going on
attacking
right
Chris.
now.
Oh, it's the last lap has just gone nuts.
Everyone got the pit stops out of the way and said, all right, it's time. Like, we're going now. We have 3 Rusties guys together following Dale and Chris around here. So we've got Scooter, and then Tombo, then Ando. A couple of spots behind is Cloakade, who is in last, but only about 3 seconds off of the leader of this mid-pack being Dale. So
Adam loving it with a 2.3 second lead. Apex will be looking to use the clear space that he has around him to try and mow that gap down. But Stefko getting a hand from low side there.
low side always happy to help. You wide of the corner. The Viper looks to have the legs on the straight here too, as the captain's not able to pull on past, and he's slowly losing time. God, what a great sounding car that Viper is as well. As you
Yeah.
come into the braking zone, the captain thinking better of it. I see people everywhere behind. It's Tombo
Yeah.
looking up the inside of Scooter with Dale trying to go around the outside of Tombo. Dale's in the dirt again. Ooh, that's dangerous. Ando's going to go around the outside. I think he's going to slot in between Ando and Rio here. So there's a lot at stake here, with the whole field being separated by about 8 seconds in total, and from 5th to 13th is about 3. So it is all popping off right now.
I'm at a loss as to how Fixer Chris is in 5th position after his little excursion into the Armco before the bridge. He's gapped the cars behind him by 1.5 seconds. He's obviously had a fantastic last couple of laps.
Speaking of the cars behind again, Dale defending against
Bit more.
Rio. Zoo looking around the outside as well.
Oh,
so
Tombo
Rio's-
with a 2-second penalty.
Oh, that's brutal.
That's put him back down to 13th behind Cloakade. As he said, they were all so close, and that's Tombo's race there with 12 laps in.
Yeah, he's still close enough to cash in on any mistakes made by the next 6 or 7 cars, but that's taken a big chunk out of his
pretty
overall
low.
race time. So the gap to Adam and Apex, 2.1 seconds. The gap from Apex to Captain, 2.1 seconds. and Stefko hanging on to the back and low side, with Chris 1.2 seconds back. So starting to separate at the front, but all the action is starting to come together in the midfield here.
Stefko doing a great job holding on those medium tyres.
He's got about 5 minutes to try and hang on to the back and low side and defend from Chris. It's going to be a tough ask, but
Yeah, Chris just approaching slipstream range now, so it's definitely a tall order.
luckily the two power cars able to keep that Honda out of slipstream this time around, giving them another 3 or 4 tenths there. And back in 7th again, Dale having a look up the inside of Ando. Dale takes it nicely. Rio looked to slip through there, but Ando covered it off nicely on the apex.
I've lost track of how many times those two have changed positions there, Dale and Ando.
Yeah, they've been together for a fair bit of the race. A couple of mistakes putting them right back with each other. Oh, Dale's running right on the edge of the track.
Every inch.
As is Rio kicking up dirt behind them. And something's happened to Zoo as they've fallen back behind Tombo. So this mid-pack really starting to spread out now as some mistakes are starting to come in. Being a little tired, you've done about an hour of racing almost at this point.
Adam out in front with 2 laps to hold on to 2-second lead over Apex Humper.
Yeah, I think those two at the front are pretty safe unless a mistake happens. I think the battle for third is going to be red hot by the time we get to the back straight in the final lap, with Stefko hanging on to the back and low side barely, and Chris just on the whispers of slipstream he's getting right now.
Yeah, Stefko seemingly pretty happy to stay behind Captain Lowside if it's going to help him, keep that gap from Chris. But now with Chris inside slipstream, if he gets a run, I wonder if Stefko will take the position.
Chris is also quite low on fuel compared to the rest of the cars ahead. So Apex Captain and DJ with about just under 25 litres. Chris coming up to about, I'd say, that'll be about 13 or 14 litres left in the tank. So he's going to have to get up to behind them, save, and then do it all on the last lap, I reckon. And something has happened to Ando. Ando's found himself at the very, very back of the field. Not the night for Ando, unfortunately. He'll be kicking himself for some mistakes that he's made. But
yeah, Rusty's not having a great one, unfortunately.
Yeah. And speaking of, Scooter loses a place to Dale there as well. Another Rusty's driver looking for the cutback though. He's going to have to do it around the outside with the power of that Jag. Power of the Jag compels you, but not for Dale in that Ferrari as he comes through the corner quite nicely. So Dale doing really well on the medium tyre here, and Chris has hit the fuel blinking mark, so he's under 10 litres as we come to the line for the last corner.
Yeah, we're getting nervous.
Everyone else looks to be relatively good on fuel. Adam also under 10 litres, as is Tombo.
Apex Humper having made up 1 second in 1 lap. He's now 9 tenths back off Adam. He'll be in slipstream range 2. We will be on for a second half of this lap battle between those two.
And we've also got that battle for the final step of the podium between the captains, Stefko and Chris as well. Stefko hanging on those mediums, Chris barely catching up with not a lot left in the tank. Going with a big lift, sitting in higher gear to save that fuel. Stefko looking a bit untidy down the hill, starting to slide on those medium tyres after 7 laps.
Adam is going to have to keep Apex out of his slipstream on this main straight. It's going to be his only saving grace if he can do it. 9 tenths out.
Nail bell and bend here.
That's it. The gap's 8.5 tenths. He's up to a second. What's happened to Apex there?
Just
possibly grazed the wall a little.
The top end speed's not going to be enough unless Apex can absolutely nail sector 3. Adam should be taking this one here, and looking back in that battle for 4th, Chris is a little bit too far off of the captain, I think. Defco having half a look up the inside of the captain as well as we come to the end of the straight. Oh, Stefko got on the power too
Stefko,
early.
no!
Oh, I've put the curse on him. He's tried to keep it flat as well, and he's done bloody well to do that.
He kept it together. That's so unfortunate. He was looking like he'd be able to hold him off, but Chris now eyeing off Captain Lowside. It's not going to happen. It's going to be Adam in first, Apex in second, and Lowside in third, and that'll be your podium.
Yeah, Chris doing well to get back to fourth after that incident at the bridge.
And I think Apex ran out of fuel too.
Dale's going to come home with a well-earned sixth. Scooter in seventh. KZ and Clocade very close together for eighth and ninth. Zoo in 10th. Rio in 11th. Tombo 12th. And Ando, unfortunately, is going to come across the line in last place there.
Wowee.
That race had a bit of everything. It settled down quite nicely. It really popped off towards the end there after all the pit stops. And, I mean, what a great drive from Adam doing it in the V-Course of Barbie Peugeot.
Oh, 100%. I'm just looking back. I can't remember when Adam's last win was. No, disregard. It was round 8. Not that long.
Not that long ago, but that's still a great effort there out of Adam. I think that's going to be a good round overall scoring wise for Adam there as well.
Yeah, definitely. A lot of action there. This track typically hasn't sort of bred that much action. We've used the track as an enduro circuit in seasons past, but Split 2 we saw it, Split 1 we've seen it. It's been everyone going hell for leather tonight, and some fantastic racing action.
Yeah, absolutely. It's rough to be a part of sometimes, but man, is it fun to watch from the spectator point of view when everything just starts popping off all at once.
Definitely.
Oh yeah, but yeah, congratulations again to Adam there for that win, and to Apex for second, and Captain for hanging on to that podium over Fixer Chris. And I think that's going to extend Apex's lead at the top of the standings as well. So could be getting to a point where it might be unreachable for the last couple of rounds for Chris to make up that gap.
That's right. 2 rounds remaining, but round 12 is our Super Enduro, and there's no resetting in the middle. There's no 3 races. So if we see Fixer Chris with get an early lead, who knows? Who knows what could happen?
Yep, and I honestly, I know we've got another Ferrari round before that, but I can't wait for our Super Enduro at Bathurst. I'm quite excited for that.
Which is
much looking forward
hilarious
to it.
coming from you, because I know it's not your favourite track.
It's not that I hate the track; it's that it's used a lot.
That's because it's a great track.
I think we've had, out of the 9 seasons of Wheel to Wheel, we have had 1 season without it, and
Yeah, there
that
should have
was
been.
because I put forward that we don't duplicate tracks for a season.
No, we should use it every round, every season.
It's just a Bathurst only league.
Oh, I'll be okay with it. All right. So we've had 4 lobbies were streamed this evening. So keep an eye out during the week. We'll see splits 3 and 4 will also be streamed. Those will be coming out during the week with commentary. And where are we next week?
Next week we will be at Lago Maggiore GP for our
Another one
final,
that I can't pronounce.
Final Group 4 round of the season in that Ferrari. So it should be quite interesting. We'll have 2 7-lap races followed by a 15-lapper. It's a track that I really enjoy. I love the massive banked corner at the bottom of the hill. It's always fun to just absolutely storm the car through that. So it should be a lot of fun.
100%. All right, keep your eyes peeled during the week for more lobbies, more streams, and in the meantime, we'll see everyone out on track for practice. We'll see everyone next week.